Hi, I'm Kelly Helsel, and I'm here on behalf of the AFTD.org Foundation and my late husband, James Helsel, who was left without a voice. My goal today is hopefully get a resolution for our state. Working with making Nevada a dementia-friendly state, I was in shock. Finding out we have 49,000 people diagnosed with dementia in 2020. By 2025, the numbers increased 30.6%, bring our numbers up to 69,000. This does not include the small rural areas that are not diagnosed or the prisoners that are in the prison system undiagnosed. FTD accounts for 20% of the dementia patients. The behavioral variant accounts for 50% of those diagnosed. The behavioral variant means the person can no longer distinguish between right and wrong. They crave sugar to increase their dopamine levels, which could come in sugar itself or even alcohol. Their behaviors can be as bad as rape with humans and animals. They can kill, become violent emotionally and physically, stealing, breaking laws, hallucinations, making up stories that are delusions that believe. I know this firsthand because the man I married was a kind, wonderful man that did a lot of volunteer work for the community, helped pass a law called Project Compassion for veterans, donated a lot of labor for families that couldn't afford to finish additions or repairs. He volunteered to help build the Sparks Museum. This was the first man that came into my life that I wanted my kids to look up to. Imagine marrying someone you love only to see them transform 360 degrees into someone unrecognizable. That's my story. My husband started making reckless decisions that I was unaware of. Why? Because I wasn't on his business. He wanted to put my name on it, but I felt it was his and should remain that way. Although him typing our house into the business, I was unaware of. People, family, would ask, "How did you not know he was sick?" He was able to keep up the Broadway play for a long time. Patients usually start the disease process 10 years before you notice something is off. I dated him and married him already in the disease process, but the symptoms come on slowly. Then again, I kept saying something was wrong, and no one believed me. This disease is often diagnosed with stress, depression, and old age. Jim felt his purpose was to donate his brain to help find a cure. So for me, I had to find my purpose, and it just came to me. What good can come out of this situation? I thought advocacy. I felt the loopholes in our community that made this disease so much worse. You can't possibly know how bad the system is unless you live it. Nevada lacks resources and facilities for BVFTD patients. Hospitals can refuse care. He was fully insured. Hospitals don't have to follow your advance directives. Education for emergency responders, dispatch, hospice, doctors should all be aware of this disease and the correct medication to use. Social services should have a better understanding of the disease and how they take complaints, and have a process of letting you know your case has been closed. I was left to fend for myself in a desperate situation. We need a state resolution to address these systemic gaps. Intervention at the beginning of diagnoses, along with notification to DMV safety for the BVFTD patient and family and community. The AFTD.org professional page, so they could understand and know what meds to give. Both hospitals looked at his MyCart for Jim for the past 5 years and they saw only a wife in constant communication, asking help with Jim's doctors. And they apologized to me over and over for the failure of our system. The public announcement of Bruce Willis's FTD diagnosis has brought some attention to this condition. His is aphasia, loss of ability to communicate. Robin Williams had Lewy body. It's only when someone famous does the conversation begin. I have gone to other meetings for our state. They really didn't help. It's more about number and getting people diagnosed. The Stanford Center I went to, they had nothing to offer. We no longer even have a local doctor that does cognitive thinking testing. I do see now the DMV has now offered the symbol for your driver's license that will let emergency personnel to be notified you have an illness of some sort. But how many people are to be honest? My husband lied. My father lied. The symbol and paper are only good if people are answering truthfully. No one sent anything to the DMV. I called UCSF because that's where my husband had joined their research department. They said, in California, if you get a dementia diagnosis, your license is gone. My husband had a valid driver's license and CW until he died. But I hid the guns somewhere else, but awareness isn't enough. We need action. I have gotten a proclamation from our mayor 2 years in a row. Our own governor won't even respond. I was thankful our Senator Angela Taylor pushed through a proclamation and is willing to work with me in the future for a resolution. I'm standing here today, not just to tell my story for myself, but for every family affected by this disease. My life was forever changed, and we had zero chance as a married couple. Our marriage was over before it began. One of the unique traits they have is the ability to act normal, as if they are doing a performance on Broadway. It's only the closest people that get the picture. There was a tragedy that happened on Thanksgiving, and the story is on my page, but that story made me open my eyes to the fact I didn't know what he was capable of. The system failed us, but it doesn't have to be this way for others. This disease is most common in people aged 30 to 60, and Nevada has one of the highest rates according to Making Nevada Dementia Friendly. Yet there are no resources, no education, no caregiver support that should begin in the beginning, learning the laws, your rights, where to turn to. I'm happy to volunteer whatever it takes to get this going. Due to living in an attic, taking on physical, emotional abuse, the complaints made against me, social services not even willing to give peace of mind of paper clearing my name, not being able to get my husband's records as his power of attorney because he had passed. I didn't want to sue. I wanted to read everything that had gone so wrong. We had $4,000 for an attorney to do advanced directives. Will ECT, the hospital did anything they wanted without one phone to me or in person asking if they can do invasive procedures. ECT, I was his power of attorney. So I believe I was put in this journey to help raise awareness so other families don't have to live through what I did.